On a flying guitar, we can go anywhere, both near or far, flying into thin air.
Today we're going to learn one of my songs called On a Flying Guitar, and it was requested by the Holmans out of Kentucky. Thanks guys for the comment and for the request. If anybody else has a specific song request for a song that you want to learn in simple 3-note chords on the piano, let me know and we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to teach you how to play On a Flying Guitar on the piano. I'll be teaching the song in the key of G. Now in the album it was recorded in the key of F sharp, but the key of G is going to be much easier to play on the piano and on the guitar. Alright, so for this song you don't need to know a lot about the piano in order to play it. But if you don't know anything about the piano, I would recommend checking out my Making Sense of the Piano video, which I think the link should be around here somewhere. Cool. It explains which keys are which, where they are, and in the end we have like a helpful little visual cheat sheet on how to find the keys and which ones are which. Alright, so here's the chord sheet for On a Flying Guitar. As some of you already know, a chord sheet has the lyrics of the song, and then above the lyrics we have the chords that we need to play and when we need to play them. So let's take a look at the first chord that we need for this song. We're going to need the G chord. How do you play the G chord? Well, first we need to find the root note, the primary note of that chord. It's going to be the same name, that note is going to be the same name as the name of the chord, G. So let's find the G note, which is Grandma's room in the main house. We can play that with our thumb. And then we're going to skip one white key, play the next white key with our index finger. Then we're going to skip the next white key, and then with our ring finger play the next white key. And if we play all three of those notes at the same time, that gives us a simple 3-note G chord. Alright, quickly one mention about hand position. It'll be easier to play these 3-note chords if your wrist is above the keyboard and you're extending your fingers to play rather than underneath and reaching up to play. So for the G chord, it'll look like that. The next chord that we need is the D chord. In order to play D, we're going to find the root, which is D. That's the dog in the doghouse. Play that with your thumb. And then we're not going to play this white key like we did in the shape of the G chord. Instead, we're going to play this black key right here, which is F sharp. And then we're going to skip a white key and then play this white key right here. And that'll give us a 3-note D chord. Play them at the same time. That is a simple 3-note D major chord. Alright, so the next chord that we're going to need is C. That's the only other chord that we need for this song. The song only has 3 chords in it. So for the C chord, we'll find the root, which is C, the cat in front of the doghouse. Play that with your thumb. And then we're going to skip one white key, play the next white key, skip the next white key, and then play the next white key. Play those 3 at the same time. And that gives us a simple 3-note C chord. That C chord looks exactly the same as the G chord. So if you lift up your fingers, keep those fingers in the same position, you can slide over to the G chord, and that makes playing the G chord a lot simpler because all we need to focus on is where the root is, and the root's always going to be where our thumb is. Okay, so let's play the first 2 lines of the song really slowly so we get the hang of how these transitions work and how the melody works. The melody starts on the note G, on a flying guitar, like that. So we'll start singing, and then we don't need to play our first chord until we get to the tar syllable of the word guitar. That's when we'll play the G. So get your fingers ready to play the G. Okay. On a flying guitar, that's the G, nice. We can go any. Now find your way to the D, slide your hand up, find the root with your thumb. The rest of your fingers are going to find their spots if we keep the finger position the same, but instead of this white key here, we're going to move our finger up to this F sharp, and then play that D. Anywhere, both near or, now transition to the C. It's a short distance to slide down here. Far flying into thin, and now for the G, we can keep our hand shape the same as it was for the C, and simply lift our hand, slide our thumb over to the new root, which is G, and let our whole hand follow. That'll give us the G chord. Into thin air. Nice. We can bring any. Now go to the C. Same thing. Lift your hand, slide over. One along. Now back to the G. Sing our song here or. And now for there, we're going to slide up to the D with our thumb. Everything else follows, and then this index finger is going to go up to the black key here. There. Alright, I should mention that some people find it easier to play not just with one hand, but 2 hands. That'll sometimes make the transitions easier. If you use your left hand, for instance, to play just the G, you might find that simpler, especially that first transition. On a flying guitar, we can go anywhere. Because playing the D, you can have your fingers on your right hand ready to play that D right away, so you don't have to worry about transitioning with the same hand. So let's try that. On a flying guitar, we can go anywhere, both near or... Now for the C, you can play that with your left or right hand. Far flying into thin air, we can bring anyone along. Sing our song here or there. Okay, let's try the next line, over land, over trees. Now you'll notice that the second G has a slash F sharp after it. That simply means play the G chord, but play an F sharp in the bass. And so for our 3-note chords, all we're going to do is we're going to switch the G note, and if you change the G to this F sharp below, you can do that with your left hand or your right hand, whichever is easier. And so it'll sound like this. Over land, over trees, over oceans, don't you know that I can't... And then onto the C. Wait until the D. Next time that we go, play that with G, play that with the left hand. Go. And then after all the words are sung for the chorus, there's that little bum bum. That's C, D. You can play that with your right hand. C, D. And again, if the transition from the C to the D is hard because the shape of the chord is different, one thing you can do is just play with 2-note chords. You don't even have to play with this 3rd note. And you can play just those 2 notes. Or the other thing is when you practice slowly, transitioning very slowly from this C. You know that this thumb needs to go to the next white key. This index finger needs to go to the F sharp here, and then this 3rd finger needs to go 1 white key over to this. And so if you take that transition nice and slow, back and forth, you're going to help your muscle memory know how to make that transition faster. A lot of times practicing slow will help you progress faster, if that makes sense. All right, so that is the chorus. Let's move on to the verse. Oh, I didn't even mention that this song starts with a chorus, which is unusual but not unheard of. And so the verse comes after the chorus. And you'll notice that in the chord sheet, I've put the chord G for the first verse above the space that happens before later alligator, the words. And that is because we want to play the chord and then start singing. So here we're going to play G, later alla, and then we want to play the D chord over the gate in the word gator. So we transition to the D. Gator, do you want to come along for a ride? And then we play the G again. We'll pick you up, fly, and then we go to the D. Around for a while, it'll be the, go to the C. Best trip you ever, and then finish with the G for that line. Tried. The original lyrics was, we'll drop you on the other side. And I never really understood the other side of what. It just, I like this better. Best trip you ever tried. So where were we? All right. Oh, so now we're at the point. I have this little notation in the chord sheet telling us that that G is just going to be a quick hit. Just a, and that's what happens in the song. Quick hit for the G, quick hit for the D, and it'll sound like this. Well, that invitation was met with elation, and then we'll play the C, D over he said. He said, and then we have a couple more short hit chords. I've been on a train, toot toot, and a plane flew with you. A bus with Gus in the middle of the rain. A boat, splash, splash, and a car, vroom, vroom. But never before have I been on a flying, play the G with your left hand if you want, guitar. And now we're ready for the second chorus, which is exactly the same as the first chorus. In fact, that's all you really need to know for the whole song because everything else is the same except for the words. All the chords are the same. So let's do this. Let's play the first chorus, the verse, first verse, and then we'll finish with one more chorus. And then we're going to start with G. So get ready with your G. We'll start with our left hand on G. Get your right hand ready for to play the D. And we'll do it pretty close to normal tempo. On a flying guitar, we can go anywhere, both near or far, flying into thin air. We can bring anyone along, sing our song here or there.
over land, over trees, over oceans. Don't you know that I can't wait until the next time that we go? Later, alligator, do you wanna come along for a ride? We'll pick you up, fly around for a while. It'll be the best trip you ever tried. Well, that invitation was met with elation. He said, I've been on a train, toot toot, and a plane flew with you. A bus with Gus in the middle of the rain. A boat, splash splash, and a car, vroom vroom. But never before have I been on a flying guitar. One more chorus. I'm gonna take this 3-note chord and I'm gonna split them into 6-note chords. I'll be playing the same 3 notes in the middle, but just adding 1 more note on top and 2 more notes on the bottom. So this will be the C, here's the G, and finally the D. Let's put them all together for one last chorus. Are you ready? On a flying guitar, we can go anywhere, both near or far, flying into thin air. We can bring anyone along, sing our song. There, 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 over land, over trees, over oceans. Don't you know that I can't wait till the next time I can? Wait till the next time I can. Wait till the next time that we go. I'm actually not sure it ends like that, but something like that. All right. Well, hope you have fun with it. That's the whole song, On a Flying Guitar, in simple 3-note chords.